Hello, everyone, and welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Network. It's Murph, it's the man, it's the myth, it's the wreck, it's Ryan King, and as always, we're here to bring you Horizon IndyCar Series action. This time, Ryan, we're live from the Kansas Speedway. It's not just a speedway, though. We've got all sorts of sporting events and venues that can take place at this fine facility.
Yeah, you like Major League Soccer? They got that here.
You want to gamble? They got that here too. So, kind of complexes is what they do in Kansas. Everybody knows about the Truman Sports Complex, Arrowhead Stadium on one side of a parking lot, and Kauffman Stadium, home to the Kansas City Royals, on the other side. What many people don't know is that that place was designed to have a dome that rolled between the two stadiums. Did you know that, Ryan?
Yeah, I did learn that recently. It sounded like it could have been a mechanical nightmare if you know anything about those early retractable roof stadiums.
So if you look at the Truman Sports Complex, where the Chiefs and the Royals call home, you'll see the stadiums are built kind of with there's two stadiums. There's a giant parking lot, and then there are very wide avenues that run parallel on each side of the two stadiums. Those were originally supposed to be railroad tracks, and there was a dome that was supposed to move between the two on the railroad tracks. They never built the dome, Ryan. They never built it. Could you imagine how loud Arrowhead would be with a dome on top of it? Holy mackerel.
Especially, like, for it to be movable, it would need to be like a solid structure. It would hold in every decibel put out by the fan.
Yes, it would. On the other side of the state line here in Kansas City, Kansas, we've got the Kansas Speedway Complex. What we were alluding to earlier, you have the 1.5 mile speedway built in 1999, opened in 2001. It's been the host of NASCAR and IndyCars for its entire existence. There is a road course here. We'll talk about that as well. You can kind of see it there on the backstretch, but there is a roval here at Kansas. There's also a Hollywood casino. For whatever reason, it graphically does not show up on my screen, but that is the blank space with the parking lot off of Turn 2. That was built in 2009. And then Children's Mercy Park, you can see that one off in the distance behind Turn 3. That opened up in 2011. That's home to the Kansas City MLS franchise, which is the Kansas City Current. It has also hosted Kansas Jayhawks football games. They played 2 home games at Children's Mercy Park in 2024. They have also played games at Arrowhead Stadium. So there you go.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot here in New York City. We have our horse tracks, and now it recently closed, but for a little while, the Aqueduct became the site of Resorts World New York. So, like, it's like the only casino in New York City, just on the grounds of a horse racing track.
Yeah, Aqueduct is a track steeped in horse racing history. This track in Kansas, speaking of history, the pavement here has got some history on it. It has never been repaved, Ryan. This joint, the surface is 25 years old, and it races like it. This place chews up the tires, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely, like, people, bash this generation of 1.5 mile ovals being cookie cutter, but Kansas races far different than its other comparable tracks simply because of the surface.
Yeah, it is bumpy, it is grindy, it's going to wear these Firestones down to the cords. I was talking with some drivers earlier. Pretty much at Kansas, you make the choice. You want to wear out the right front or the right rear. The setup for this race, they're going to wear out the right rear. So be looking for cars that have loose conditions. They've got too much weight jacker in it, burned up the right rear tire. You do that, you're going to head straight for the back. Just a circle among track records here. The NASCAR Cup track record, Kyle Larson, 2015 SpongeBob SquarePants 400, 28.857. The IndyCar track record, slightly faster. Thomas Scheckter, 2002 Ameristar Casino Indy 200, 24.874. So about 4 seconds quicker in an Indy car than a stock car at this track. There have also been IMSA races on the road course, Ryan. Scott Pruitt in a Daytona prototype owns the road course track record, 109.745. The GT lap record, 1 minute 15.013. So that's the road course, and you can get kind of a good look at it. You go left into the infield. There's kind of a switchback chicane. You go down a straightaway. You've got one horseshoe, and then you come back the other way. Do the same thing. Back up on the oval, very close to where you entered. So not much of a road course, but it's here and available for events should you need it to be. Speaking of events, this event, Ryan, is getting ready to get underway. We've got the cars gridding up. Speaking of the grid, here we go on the pole with a lap at 219.824 miles an hour, Ryan. That's going to be Mason Mitchum, his outside. Series director, Matt Wagner. Alex Miller, points leader. He's going to start third. Brian Greenlee is fourth. This third row is made up of Gary Lovern and Sam Cosner. Micah Mixer, Will Stearns are going to start seventh and eighth. Mark Cohn, he makes his return from the Sim Gaming Expo in ninth. And Jeff Heisong will go from 10th and 11th. Craig Forsyth, 12th. Andrew Surwack, Nate Fields, and Hugo Gallows will start in row 7. Turner Johnson, Yari Brubaker, they're going to go from 15th and 16th. No time set by Daniel the Cat Drazo, Louis Busa III, or Joseph Morales. They're going to go from the back. So that's your starting lineup here. Ryan, what do you think of this field here as we get set for 133 laps at Kansas?
It's going to be a bit of a feeling out period to start. Because of the tire wear here, people tend to be really aggressive early in runs. And if you're one of the unfortunate few to have to start from the back, you're going to do as much as you can to gain spots during these early laps.
That does come with a trade-off, though, as we see the cars begin to roll away. That does come with a trade-off, though, Ryan. You get too heavy in that early run, you're going to run the tires right off of your race car, and you're going to go straight to the back.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's kind of managing the car throughout the entire run to try to maximize the fuel in the tank. Go as far as you can and not have to worry about tire wear.
Most certainly so. Do want to thank everybody who's got us tuned in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the P1 Broadcasting channel, be updated about all future iRacing events, and we have a ton of them. We've got one pretty much every day of the week, except on Saturdays with IES out. Saturdays are kind of the day off for the channel. We had 3 streams on Monday night, though. Ryan. A pair on Tuesday. We've got a couple tonight with FIS. Green flag is out here in the Horizon IndyCar Series. Racing is underway. And already Mason Mitchum jumps out to a big lead. Alex Miller has gone to second. Wags has dropped back to third. Everybody safely through turns 1 and 2, Ryan.
Yeah, let's see how quickly the rest of the field draft up to the attenuator of Mitchum.
100%. These cars can be extremely difficult to control here once you get going under green flag conditions. We saw Mark Cohn, that's the blue and white car, in front of the blue and white car of Craig Forsyth. Cohn just about knocked down the wall coming off of turn number 4 the first time through. These cars can be extremely loose, Ryan, at the beginning of a run as Mason Mitchum reaches out. He's got the preferred line, he's got the lead, and he's got the bottom, Ryan.
Yeah, it's kind of in this position. You hold the lead, you run your line, you don't do anything to put undue wear onto the tire.
Most certainly so. Hop on board with Brian Greenlee. He's running along in third, and there's the roll bar of Mr. Greenlee as he tries to chase down Alex Miller. Let's kind of take a look and see what he's doing to manage his tires. Don't see or hear a lot of lift, Ryan. And Brian Greenlee taps the wall.
Ooh. Yeah, you could tell he quickly darted away. I was worried he got loose, but it seems like he was more worried about hitting it.
Well, he had Matt Wagner coming to the bottom, and Wags dives under his good friend Brian Greenlee. Matty Wagner is going to go to third and looking to capitalize on that. That's Sam Cosner. He's going to try to come through and take away fourth, but it appears as though that light touch did not hurt Brian Greenlee. Do want to welcome Ryan O'Donoghue into the broadcast. O'Donoghue, a regular in the AMA series. We've also seen him in the Onyx Racing League, in the ISRA, as it was formerly called. Good to have Ryan O'Donoghue here. Funny story about Ryan O'Donoghue, Mr. Wreck. He has a framed picture of one of my more famous wrecks next to his rig, I learned.
How did that happen?
Well, you see, what had happened was I was running in an Area 51 race at Atlanta, I believe, and I got turned loose a little bit, spun down the front straightaway, and then I can't recall exactly the chain of events, but it wound up with me stuck in the Sunoco sign at pit exit. And so somebody thoughtfully snipped a picture of that, passed it around, and Mr. O'Donoghue has that picture framed next to his rig of the red, white, and blue IAR colors stuck in the Sunoco sign in Atlanta.
Oh.
Anyway, watching Gary Lovern, he and Sam Cosner in those Votive Racing League machines have made it past Brian Greenlee. Next up on the hit parade is Mark Cohn. He is being followed, or he is behind now Micah Mixer, and so they're going to look to take advantage. You got to wonder, Ryan, does Brian Greenlee have some damage on that car, or is he just taking it easy?
I don't know. It's something that we can't really tell from the booth, but you never know, because we talked about this last week with floor damage. If it affects you, you kind of just have to just live with it.
You do. I'm looking at the car of Greenlee. He smacks the wall again, coming off of turn number 2, and that's going to let Mixer, Cone, Surwack. Now here comes Louis Busa the third, Craig Forsyth. They're all head to the bottom. Big problems now for Brian Greenlee. There goes Grandpa Will Stearns. He's going to come through. Jeff Heisong in the In-N-Out Burger machine. He's going to come by. Big problems here early for Brian Greenlee. If he didn't get damaged the first time, I would imagine he's probably got some now.
Yeah, it's less of a question and more of a statement at this point. Just ride it out to the pit stop. Just burn the faster bear and, hopefully stay in this thing.
Speaking of burning, Sam Cosner is burning up this racetrack. Sam Cosner dives to the bottom of Matt Wagner. I wanted to get a picture of that lime green and Kelly green Votive Racing League machine and couldn't quite get it done because he'd already gone past Matty Wagner. Next up on the hit parade is going to be Gary Lovern. Gary Lovern giving that 34 a good ride. Lovern up to 5th. Don't want to lose sight of the leader. Mason Mitchum has staked himself, Ryan, to a nearly half a second lead. Alex Miller is second. Those two are clearly of the mind. They're going to turn it up and go for it. They are almost 2 seconds clear of Sam Cosner here.
Yeah, it is fairly rare to see just not one, but the top two just drive off from the rest of the field.
We've got him 3 wide here momentarily. Andrew Surwack smacks the fence on the top. That was Mark Cohn in the middle. They get Louis Busa the third to the bottom. And really, there's differing agendas here, Ryan. 13 laps into this race, there's going to be differing agendas. Some guys are going to want to save their tires for the end of the run. Some guys are going to want to go flat out and make it to the front. Certainly, we're seeing Mitchum and Alex Miller do that. Sam Cosner, Gary Lovern also doing that. Matt Wagner. He's hanging tough to the outside of Gary Lovern. But here's the thing, Ryan. Those tires are going to cross up here in about 5 laps. And when they do, if you push them too hard, you're going to be driving on ice covered with an oil slick.
Yeah, my big fear is the leader out there in clean air. You can put the car wherever you want. You don't have to you could manage the timer easily when you're by yourself. When you're in a pack, it's a much different story.
Yeah, you really do. Watching Louis Busa the third, he's going to go underneath Matty Wagner, move Louis Busa. Well, maybe not. Wags is hanging tough on that top side, but notice, Ryan, these passes are getting harder and harder for these drivers to come by. What was once just a simple drop underneath, thank you very much, adios, is now becoming Micah Mixer smacks the fence coming off of turn 2. That's going to be our trouble spot, Ryan.
Yeah, like the transitions here at Kansas are a bit abrupt. It really throws you out towards the wall, and if you don't account for that and leave yourself the room to wander out, you're going to hit that wall.
Yeah, what you want to do is you want to get back in the gas just a little bit later than you think you need to as we jump on board Craig Forsyth. What you want to do is you want to get back in the gas just a little bit later than you think. Maybe use fourth gear like Craig is here. That's going to keep the car in the power band, and it's going to let it rotate a little bit better in the center of the corner. But you really want to be mindful of when you get back in the throttle, because you think you can, and then there you go. The wall just wants to rush up and smack you. Kind of an interesting note here, Ryan. The sister track to this would be Chicagoland. The two tracks, though, they are not identical, are they?
No, because Chicago famously has the curve back straight.
Yeah, in a note to Langhorne, the famous circle in Pennsylvania, the 1 mile oval, Chicagoland does not have a straight. It is identical to Kansas in most respects, except the backstretch has a curve, and so as a result, the backstretch wall at Chicago, it is not nearly as fearsome as the one here, and especially as the tires wear and they get older, the car really wants to knock down that turn 4 wall, Ryan.
Yeah, because your outside tires get no rest. It is just under constant load.
It most certainly is. Speaking of constant load, Andrew Surwack bounced off that turn 2 wall earlier. He's got everything pointed back in the right direction, and he is going to go to the top side of Matt Wagner. Let's move Andrew Surwack to 6th, put Matty Wags back to 2nd, and he's got his buddies Craig Forsyth and Mark Cohn in hot pursuit. Forsyth is one of the biggest movers in this race, Ryan. He started in 11th spot. He's up to 8th now. He's going to be working on 7th here in just a moment, but Craig Forsyth is coming to the front. As you would expect.
As you would expect. Like at this point, I think our runners are starting to look ahead towards that first pit window, get themselves in a good position to make the next big move on the fresh set of tires.
Well, it is a 133 lapper here. We're 23 laps down already, 200 miles here at Kansas. Watching the leader, Mason Mitchum, in the Votive Racing League entry. He is your leader. Alex Miller, who is the points leader, is 2nd. Sam Cosner runs along in 3rd. There's Sam, also for the Votive Racing League. And then Louis Busa the 3rd. He is in 4th. Now, Busa is not offsetting going through the corners. He's choosing to run right in the tire tracks of Sam Cosner, and that's not going to do his tire wear any good. Well, he makes a liar out of me. He's going to go high through 3 and 4, Ryan.
Yeah, I guess up until that point, he was trying to close the gap through just slipstreaming, and most of the time, that is what you should be doing. But slipstream becomes dirty air once you start turning the wheel.
Now, here's a fun one about Louis Busa. We were on board with him just now. He is running this circuit entirely in 5th and 6th gear, and that tends to wear more of the right front because you're in the slipstream, you're keeping the revs higher. He's not really lifting off as much. You see him in 5th gear. We saw Craig Forsyth downshifting to 4th. You're going to see drivers later in this run, Ryan, maybe use 3rd gear in the corners.
Yeah, because that is how slow will eventually have to start taking these corners once you wear the tires down to basically the cords.
Yes, sir. Speaking of wearing tires down to the cords, there's Matty Wagner. Look out the gearbox. And he's got Craig Forsyth. And Craig is doing something that I would describe as very much a veteran move. Forsyth saving his stuff. He's coming forward. Wagner started up front. He's fallen back a little bit. Wonder if maybe he's going to come back forward as the race continues. There's Mark Cohn. He runs along in 9th. He's got Grandpa Will Stearns behind him in 10th. And then the dry and rumble Purex colors of Robbie Buell adorn the 57 of Hugo Gallas. Immediately behind him, the In-N-Out Burger machine of Jeff Heisong. And then it's Nate Fields running along 13th. Micah Mixer has dropped all the way back to 14th. Micah Mixer started this race 7th. He's lost 7 spots, and he is about to lose another one to Daniel the Cat Durazo in the Track Rocket machine in 15th. Turner Johnson follows along 16th. Joseph Morales is 17th. There he is. Brian Greenlee in 18th, and Yari Brubaker is 19th, rounding out this 19-car field. The battle is for 3rd and 4th. Sam Cosner has 3rd. Louis Busa has slowly been closing that gap, Ryan, maybe to the detriment of his Firestones.
Yeah, at this point, if you're making up ground that quickly, you're probably putting a big dent into your tires.
Most certainly are, and there you see it. He is not shifting down into 4th as Craig Forsyth is. 5th gear all the way around for Louis Busa. And watch how much, Ryan, he's turning the wheel here. There is a ton of input going into that thing. You can visually see it. And he's holding it through corner exit. That is not going to be doing the Stones any good. Matt Wagner has made the pass on Surawak, so put Wags to 6th, Surawak to 7th. Contrast that with Craig Forsyth. Now watch Forsyth's hands. See how he gets it straight before the end of the corner?
Yep.
And he's not turning the wheel near as much. He's also going down to 4th gear a little bit. He's been using 4th gear. We saw that earlier. There you go. A lot less input for Craig Forsyth. That's going to wear the tires a heck of a lot less here.
Yeah, and that'll add up, whether it be added pace at the end of runs, his stints just being longer overall. It'll help you tremendously.
It most certainly will. One thing I did not check, Ryan, was fuel. Are they doing 100% fuel? We have a fuel limit tonight. What's that look like?
Quick glance. We are... I gotta keep reminding myself where it is in the rule set.
Totally fine.
90% fuel tonight.
90% fuel is the call. So the outer edge of fuel economy here is going to be about 45 laps. Caution is on the speedway. Caution is out. Caution, yellow, yellow, yellow. Yari Brubaker with a meatball, as has Joseph Morales. Let's go back and see what we can see here for Yari and Joseph. There they are, running along together here. And Joseph Morales gets he got a little bit loose coming off of turn 2, and Yari Brubaker just kind of runs up the back of him, Ryan.
Yeah, kind of where Morales just gets loose and lifts to try to get his car into control, but he has a car right behind him.
Yes, he does. Here we are looking at Joseph Morales. It's a good-looking machine for the number 60. Here he is. He comes off of turn number 2, and just watch, the thing's going to get loose with him. He's going to get up there. He's going to lift, and Yari Brubaker had a huge run and not enough time to lift out of the gas. Joseph Morales is going to get the worst end of that. He had to take a tow, and so he's going to be 2 laps down. Yari Brubaker also 2 laps down. Both of those cars have come in and affected the fast repair, but we are under the yellow light here. 36 of 133 complete at Kansas. You are listening to the Horizon IndyCar Series on the P1 Broadcasting Network. Bark Murphy, of course, as always, joined by the man, the myth, the wreck, Ryan Eric King. And here they come into pit lane, Ryan.
Yep. At this point, everyone's probably dying for a new set of tires.
Most certainly so. I don't think you're going to see anybody stay out. Of course, well, Brubaker and Morales are going to stay out. They're going to get one of their laps back, one would assume. We'll watch the pit stop for your leader, Mason Mitchum. Here he comes up on the jacks, and we'll see if he can't. We'll see if he can get out effectively. There he goes. So it's Mitchum, Miller, Cosner, your race off of pit lane. Louis Busa the third is fourth, Gary Lovren fifth, then Forsyth, Wagner, Stearns, Cone, and Hugo Gallas rounding out your top 10. Surlack, Highsong, Fields, Daniel the Cat Durazo, Micah Mixer, Turner Johnson, Brian Greenlee, Yari Brubaker, and Joseph Morales are the remaining cars in the field. Joseph Morales is dropping back. He is now 2 laps down. I wonder if for whatever reason he did not get the wave round or he came back to pit lane. Be interesting to see why he's going to the back.
Let me check.
Because he should have had the wave around, should he not, Ryan? I would think we'll get our rules expert Ryan Eric King on the case here. Good enough for the Queen and the Queen of England, Jalopnik.com. Good enough for Horizon IndyCar Series rules, Ryan Eric King.
Okay, it doesn't seem. Yeah, he did not get the wave around. So he did go to pit lane during the caution. I believe that's probably why he probably entered a closed pit lane.
There you go. And so if you get the wave, you can't go back to the pit lane. It was odd that he went to pit lane though, given Ryan that he had the he had just come in for a fast repair. So that car was completely reset. Here we go. We're going to get the green flag, 38 of 133 complete here for the Horizon IndyCar Series, presented by the Joy of Driving on the P1 Broadcasting Channel. It's Murph. It's Ryan Eric King. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. Away we go. 38 of 133 complete. Working on lap 39. Everybody's going to safely make it through turns 1 and 2. No moments on turn 2 exit that time. Everybody dialed their weight jackers back appropriately. They're also keeping up with Mason Mitchum. Much better here than they did on the initial start. Alex Miller is in second. He's right there, as is Sam Cosner. Now remember, Cosner and Mitchum are teammates, and that is going to tell a story here, Ryan, as we go, because the monkey in the middle, Alex Miller, is not teamed with those cars. And Ryan, what does that mean here as you circulate the Kansas Speedway? If you're chasing down a team car and you've got a team car behind you, how does that look?
It can make your life very difficult because you're effectively in a handicap match.
That's true. So we're going to put it up in the blimp and show you guys what I'm talking about. There's the car of Mason Mitchum. He goes to the bottom. Alex Miller is going to have to offset him in order to keep clean air on the front wings of that Dallara, make it, and try to preserve his tires. In order to run that high line and keep up, you have to run harder. And so Miller is going to go through the Firestones a little bit quicker than Mitchum is. Meanwhile, Sam Cosner behind him, he knows where he knows where Mason Mitchum is going. And so he's able to take advantage of that and position his car appropriately. And so there's, you may see 3 cars there, but I see a leader who is disturbing the air for P2 and helping his teammate all at the same time, Ryan.
Yeah, it's a win-win for the votive cars.
It most certainly is, and pulling up on the back of that votive machine and nearly knocking down the wall next to the casino, that's Louis Busa III in the City Chevrolet machine. That's a very well done Days of Thunder scheme on an Indy car, I have to say, Ryan. But Louis Busa might have been the man that was saved by that caution. He was driving awfully hard under that first green flag run, and I'd have to think that his tires were pretty close to toast when they came into pit lane.
Oh, without a doubt, it probably felt like getting saved by the bell in a boxing match when that caution came out.
Indeed. We're watching Sam Cosner try to chase down this man, Alex Miller. He's got Louis Busa behind him. Gary Lovern, that's another Votive Racing League machine. The VRL cars having a day here, Ryan. First, third, fourth, and fifth. There's Gary Lovern, but he's got the old pro Craig Forsyth coming in sixth.
And while, the first stint of this race, we got, fairly spread out at the front of the field, it seems like the pack is a bit closer to Mitchum this time around.
Yeah, they're not letting him get away. He had scooted out to about a 2.5 lead. He's got nearly a second on Alex Miller now. Cosner and Louis Busa are much tighter than they were before to Alex Miller. And then these cars here, Craig Forsyth and Gary Lovern, riding on board Forsyth, and you can, as evidenced by the decals on the top of that machine, if you want to check out Craig's point of view, head on over to Forsyth Gaming on YouTube. He is a fun stream to watch, isn't he, Sam? Or Ryan, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got my broadcast partners mixed up. I'm getting old. But it's kind of instructive to watch what Craig's doing. Meanwhile, the battle between Busa and Cosner is just about set to pop off. Louis Busa has made it to the bottom side of Sam Cosner. Cosner, though, is not going to go quietly into the night, Ryan.
No, he's going to hang on for dear life because it's all he can do at this point.
Most certainly so. Louis Busa has gone by Sam Cosner. Busa has been one of those that has been willing to run his Dallara IR18 as hard as humanly possible for any given lap, and he's managed to charge Louis Busa III. Watching him in third, he started 18th. Ryan, I'm sorry. I keep wanting to call him Sam. Sam Crow is my broadcast partner in the AMA. I keep wanting to call him Sam. Between you, Sam Crow, and Andrew Wood, I'm losing my and Jacob Collins, I'm losing my mind, Ryan.
It happens to the best of us.
So there we go. Louis Busa III has moved into third, up 15 spots. I think that would qualify as LGN's driver of the day. Also battling these two, Craig Forsyth and Will Stearns. Forsyth continues to try to creep a little bit closer to Gary Lovern, but the last time through, Lovern pulled away just a smidge, and really, it kind of the lap times kind of look like this through the field. Mason Mitchum, Alex Miller, they're 25.5s. Louis Busa is catching them. He has got the car turned all the way up. His last lap was a 25.4. Sam Cosner, Gary Lovern, Craig Forsyth, Will Stearns, Mark Cohn, Hugo Gallas, Matt Wagner, they're all in the 25.7s. Andrew Surawak is a little bit quicker than them, but Surawak, he's, well, I call out Andrew Surawak's name, and then he puts the car on the wall. But there was a bit of a gap between him and Matty Wagner. And then there is a huge gap between Micah Mixer and Daniel the Cat Durazo. The Cat's just about out of the range of the draft at 1.3 seconds. And believe it or not, that might be an advantage for him, Ryan, as we head back to the front.
Yeah, because if you're out of the draft, you're out of the envelope for dirty air, meaning that you won't have that. You won't be losing downforce in the corner. You'll be able to use all the downforce and not have to put any added strain on your tires.
And that's a huge, huge, huge thing. It may seem, hey, I'm out of the draft. I'm not making any progress. All is lost. That may be all is gained. I seem to remember a race at Kentucky where my good friend Jesper Orman decided that he needed to use the facilities under a caution flag, went to the back, and didn't quite make it out in time. So he restarted half a lap behind. Kentucky's another track like this one. It'll shred your tires. Jesper running around out there half a lap behind, didn't shred his. By the end of that run, he was leading the race.
Yeah, without a doubt, where it might seem on paper that somebody's driving away from the rest of the field, but they can also be, shooting holes through their tires.
Most certainly so. And Louis Busa has now gotten past Alex Miller. So move Busa to second now, put Miller in third. And Alex Miller, I have to say, we've seen a rapid maturation from Alex Miller. He was kind of a guy used to Ryan have a reputation for being the man that always went for it. Here in the Horizon IndyCar Series, he is leading the points. We're gonna get that popped open here as soon as we can. Right now, Alex Miller leads Hugo Gallas by 42 markers. Daniel the Cat is third. He's 50 points back. We've seen Alex Miller be a lot more patient. That was a guy that was kind of known as the bull in the china shop not too long ago in the community. He's gone out on his own, away from a team environment, and he has really started to knuckle down, improving his strategic thinking, and it's showing right here. He knows he's got more pace than Busa on the long run. Let the man go, burn up his tires, Ryan, so that we can just go motor back by him here in about 15 laps or so.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's not quite tortoise versus the hare, but it's in a similar vein where you got to pick your battles. Sometimes it's not worth fighting someone because it can hurt you down the road.
Absolutely so. Do want to thank everybody for joining us here on the P1 Broadcasting Network. It's Murph. It's the man, the myth, the wreck, Ryan Eric King. We've got the Horizon IndyCar Series live for you from the Kansas Speedway. It is 200 miles, 133 laps here this evening for the Horizon IndyCar Series. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the P1 Broadcasting Network, and be notified of all future iRacing action. We got a triple header Sunday. We had a double header yesterday. We've got two going tonight, Ryan. I believe they've got the FIS going on the other stream. Is that right?
Yep, that's what they got going.
Where are they at tonight? Now that's a fun league. Where are they at tonight? Can you tell?
Give me 1 second. I'll pull up the broadcast.
I obviously can't.
What's the... Oh, they're an auto club.
So are they doing the road course or the oval there?
The oval.
Ah, gotcha. So the Formula Indy Series, for those of you who don't know, is a... It's run with Dallara IR18s. However, it is run to Formula One rules. So standing starts, local yellows, virtual safety cars, the whole bit. They typically do one oval a year or one oval a season in that group, and so tonight would be their oval then, I guess, right?
Yep, it would be their one oval in the season. Definitely an interesting choice to choose a 2.5 mile super speedway.
Or 2 mile super speedway. It most certainly is. They're doing two ovals this time, actually, Ryan. So they started out at the Nürburgring. They've got Auto Club tonight, then Barber, Chicago Street, Miami, Portland, Zolder. Three ovals. They're going to do the oval at Gateway, then Mexico City, Brands Hatch, the oval at Indianapolis, and Watkins Glen. So how about that? We'll bring it back to the Horizon IndyCar Series. Mason Mitchum has himself a 2-second lead, and if you're wondering what that looks like, that's off the back of Mason Mitchum. He is Ryan. He is gone.
Yeah, this is one of the most dominant performances we've seen in a while in this series.
Yeah, if you can grab that lead, you can absolutely make hay and get away from your competitors. We've got a battle for third. Sam Cosner has dropped underneath Alex Miller. Miller fighting back effectively on the outside, though. And we're at that point now, 32 laps into the run, where the tire situation is going to start to show up. Has Sam Cosner saved his tires? Has Alex Miller worn his out? But now is the time you can really battle effectively here, as Cosner will complete the pass. Craig Forsyth is going to pull up on this battle next. You're not able to make it on one more stop, Ryan. And even though you've got another 10 to 12 laps or so that you could run, might some of these guys think about pitting early?
Yeah, you could pit early. Yeah, as long as it doesn't add another stop, sure, pit early. My only fear is getting trapped a lap down.
Yeah,
by, say, a caution comes down and someone on the lead lap decides, oh, I'm just not going to pit.
Or somebody spins it coming to pit lane. That's always part of the calculus, right? If you're making that decision, is do I trust these other 18 jokers to get to pit lane safely and effectively? That's at least part of my calculus in determining whether to short pit or not. Sometimes it's obvious and you take the gamble, but other times, you do look at the entry list and say, man, can I trust these guys? To do it? Alex Miller has dropped back to the inside of Sam Cosner, so the battle rages here for third. It is Cosner with third. Miller formerly had it. He wants it back. Craig Forsyth, well, Craig has the best seat in the house, Ryan.
Yeah, it's certainly a position to be in. Obviously, you hope the two cars ahead of you don't make contact.
That's most certainly true. Alex Miller looks like he has the advantage over... Alex Miller looks like he has the advantage now over Sam Cosner, and he does. So move Miller back to third, demote Cosner to fourth, Forsyth in fifth. Behind them, you've got Grandpa Will Stearns. He runs along in the sixth spot. You've got Gary Lovren and Andrew Surwack. They're having a dispute over seventh. That is Lovren on the bottom in the red Votive Racing League machine. Andrew Surwack to the top. Gatorade colors on his car. But they run wheel to wheel here. This is for the seventh and eighth spot, Ryan. Looks like Surwack's going to get it.
Yeah, he got the move done. Let's see if Lovren's going to fight back.
Not able to do so effectively on the bottom. Could be getting some dirty air from Will Stearns there in front of him. And so move Surwack to 7th, Lovren to 8th. Mark Cohn is 9th, and he's got buddy Matty Wagner right behind him in 10th. Wagner, as you recall, started on the front row, so he's fallen back a ways. Mark Cohn running about where he started in 9th. And there's Cohn, there's Wagner, 9th and 10th. Hugo Galez a little bit behind them in 11th, and Galez is under fire from the track rocket machine of Daniel the Cat Durazo. Gallows gets up and kind of touches the wall, and that's going to let Daniel Durazo get right on by. So move Durazo to 11th, Gallows to 12th. Turner Johnson is 13th in the Votive Racing League machine. There he is. Jeff Heisong in the In-N-Out Burger car is 14th. There's Nate Fields. We haven't really called Nate Fields' name that much tonight, but he runs along. He runs in 15th. And then Micah Mixer has had himself a day. Micah Mixer started in 7th. He was as high as 6th on the start. He has fallen all the way back to 15th in that car. Micah Mixer having an interesting evening, as is the next machine, Brian Greenlee. Greenlee, if you recall, started 4th. He is all the way back to 17th. He's used his fast repair, Ryan. And then we do have 2 cars a lap down. Yari Brubaker, 1 lap down. There's Yari. He is in 18th spot. And Joseph Morales runs along 19th. He is 2 laps off the pace. Bring it back to the most significant battle on the track. It's Matty Wagner to the outside of Gary Lovern. Wags, he's going to take over the 8th spot, move Lovern back to 9th. And we've got Will Stearns coming into the pit lane, Ryan. So we've got takers now. Lap 81 of 133. Will Stearns has dropped to the pit lane, and we're going to see the pits start to get fairly busy here. Lovern now under attack from Durazo and Mark Cohn. You got to wonder, when is Gary Lovern going to pull that car to pit lane? The tires on that VRL machine have to be toast. Here he comes. Get it slowed down, Gary. There he goes. Good entry into pit lane. That's going to move Louis Busa to the lead. And that is because Mason Mitchum had previously come to the pit lane. Now Busa is going to hit pit road. That's going to turn the lead over to Alex Miller, and he is now faced with a rearview mirror full of Craig Forsyth. And I don't think, Ryan, in all my time of iRacing, I have ever seen Craig Forsyth go long on fuel. Have you?
Yeah, me neither, because while it's certain that everyone stopping right now will have to come in one more time, it's kind of approaching that window where, like, could he stretch this out long enough to make this his last stop? Certainly not, but it keeps that down in your mind.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's been out 47 laps, and there are 50 to go. So Alex Miller and Craig Forsyth, they've gone now 48, and they've got 49 to go. If they're able to make one more circuit, they can put themselves in position to make this their last stop. Now, they're going to be buried deep in the field, but Ryan, it's worth a shot. And the front, here comes Alex Miller. So he's gonna stay. He's gonna come in. Craig Forsyth just about missed pit entrance. Somehow Forsyth gets it slowed down. In comes Daniel the Cat Durazo, and that's gonna leave Matty Wagner and Mark Cohn out on the racing surface. Wagner, Cohn, and Fields, they're gonna go one more time. Now every lap that you go here puts another lap in the bank, doesn't it, Ryan? In comes Matty Wagner. That is going to turn the lead back over. There's Wags. Cohn has also come into pit lane. That is going to turn the lead, Ryan, back over to Mason Mitchum. Wagner and Cohn, they went 51 laps. 46 laps to go here in the Horizon IndyCar. So they're done. We would assume that Forsyth, Wagner, Alex Miller, and Mark Cohn, at least are all done with their pit stops. I don't think anybody else is going to be able to make it, but those 4 cars would be done. Mitchum is your leader. He is 7 laps into his current run. He will most certainly have to stop. Louis Busa, he is 5 laps into his run. He will most certainly have to stop again. Alex Miller has made it back out into 3rd, and look who is 4th, right behind him, Craig Forsyth. Yeah, they're 5 seconds off the lead, Ryan. But I believe, and I would have to think that you would tend to agree, I would believe that those 2 are done with pit stops unless there's a yellow light.
Yeah, where they're in a position where they can make it to the end, and that could give them a genuine shot at the win today.
Yeah, there you go. And look, it's not necessarily about the fastest car. Mason Mitchum has had the fastest car tonight. It's about who completes the advertised distance completes the advertised distance in the lowest elapsed time, and sometimes that is not the fastest car. Mason Mitchum has absolutely driven away from the field. He and Louis Busa hold a commanding 5-second advantage over Alex Miller. There's Mitchum, there's Busa. The problem is one of not having enough ethanol in the old tank to make it home. Mitchum last stopped 10 laps ago. That means he would have to make 53 laps on his current run. We do not believe that is possible. Louis Busa, 9 laps on his current run. That means 51 laps. He would have to go extremely slow in order to make that. Alex Miller, on the other hand, he and Craig Forsyth, they've been out 6 laps. That gives them 48 to make. They easily made 49 the last time. And then behind them, you've got Matt Wagner. Wagner, he ran 51 laps this last time. He's only got to go 45. And to me, Ryan, that means he can turn it up and give it the full welly.
Yeah, because while being like marginal at the pit window and trying to stretch out a run to the end, being able to go longer and stop later, just have the tires under you and just push relentlessly to the checkered flag is also, a strong path to the finish.
It most certainly is. Right now, we're watching Alex Miller, Craig Forsyth. This is the closest battle on the track. Now, Ryan, I would bet you a shiny new dime that you could not use a stick of dynamite to get Craig Forsyth past Alex Miller right now.
Yeah, you could. I'm pretty sure he'd outrun the dynamite if you try to throw it in front of him.
Yeah, no, I mean, Craig Forsyth is doing Craig Forsyth things. He's running along right in the draft of Alex Miller. My guess is probably Fuel 4, Fuel 5. We'll jump on board with Craig and just listen to the car. My guess is he's probably running Fuel 4 behind there, and very much see how long he's off the gas, Ryan, in the corner.
Yeah, he's trying to conserve as much as possible.
Yeah, you can hear him feathering the throttle down the straightaway as well, so that he doesn't develop a run to get past Alex Miller. This is top level, top drawer stuff from Craig Forsyth, and we've seen him win many races using this exact method. Is tonight going to be another one of those nights? We'll keep an eye on Forsyth and Miller. We'll go back to the front because Louis Busa, he has started to close the gap on Mason Mitchum down to 0.8 of a second. Coming in line, 35 laps to go. We are riding on board Louis Busa the third. He is chasing Mason Mitchum. They are 6.7 seconds ahead of Alex Miller and Craig Forsyth. Mitchum and Busa, we believe, Ryan, are going to have to stop. And here is The here's the number. Here are the numbers that tell the tale. We the most we've seen anybody do is 51 laps. That was Matt Wagner. Mason Mitchum would have to go 53 to make it to the end. Busa would have to go 51. Alex Miller and Craig Forsyth are going to have to do 48. Matt Wagner is only going to have to go 46. So that's the story on the fuel. The full rich number we believe, Ryan, is 45. The save number might be 50-51. This is going to be interesting. Matt Wagner is the fastest automobile on the track, and we'll get the spotlight on Matt. He is hauling in Sam Cosner at 0.2 a second per lap, Ryan.
Like, yeah, 0.2 a lap is definitely an impressive margin to have over someone, especially at this point in the race.
It is, but remember, you kind of called it out, right? Wagner, Wagner is going to be able to push his tires harder. He's also, because he doesn't have to go as long, he also has more fuel to burn. You know that Miller and Forsyth are saving in front of him. They've got to go an extra 2 laps or 3 miles on their tank fulls, and so they're probably saving a little bit. We've heard Forsyth saving his fuel. You kind of wonder, would those guys be amiable to letting Wagner go and kind of draft up behind him? But by the same token, if you don't have the fuel to burn, it doesn't matter if you got a draft or not. As Wagner goes underneath Sam Cosner here, that'll demote Cosner to sixth, put Wagner up to 5th momentarily. He's going to get there though, just because he's got more petrol in the old tank.
Yeah, it's kind of a question of how many cars can he pass.
Most certainly so, and that is the story. Can Forsyth and Alex Miller make it? Forsyth, he's decided now's time to go to the whip. He has gone past Alex Miller. Forsyth dropped the blue and white familiar players livery, sponsored in iRacing, this car by 40 Racewear. Craig dropped right under Alex Miller and decided now it's time to go. They were running around at 26 seconds a lap. Craig Forsyth, the last time through, 25.7. So Forsyth has decided now it's time to go. And probably, Ryan, in no small part to the fact that Forsyth, he can read the relative just like everybody else. He sees Matty Wagner coming too.
And it's sort of that rearward pressure of you know what your fuel number is, you know what you have to do to get to the end, but you also see the other guy behind you closing that distance, and it's like, I gotta go. I have to go.
Have to go indeed. Speaking of going, Louis Busa has found the rear wing of Mason Mitchum, who has found traffic. Now, that's not something that Mason Mitchum has been familiar with, Ryan, in this race, is having to run in dirty air. And sometimes when you've led as much as he's led, you've been behind, you've been out front with the full complement of air on the front wings. You get behind another car, it gets you behind your tools, and it gets tough to drive pretty quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it gets pretty tough, and we have Forsyth sort of letting Alex Miller by.
Yeah, there they go. We'll flop back to that. I wonder if they're kind of thinking about swap drafting maybe as Mason Mitchum moves underneath now Joseph Morales, and that's going to get him past Mixer and Morales. We'll see if Louis Busa is able to get through as quickly as Mason Mitchum did. But at the end of the day, these two cars, Mitchum and Busa, they need a caution sooner rather than later would be my guess. Because if they get a caution with 10 to go, then the cars that have enough fuel aren't going to pit, and they'll be buried deep in the field, right?
Yeah, and it was sort of an all or nothing strategy where, yeah, the payoff is huge, but if you get it wrong and you miss the number, you're at midfield at best.
Yeah, and that's always the thing, right? I want you to go fast. I want you to save me some fuel. Go fast, but save fuel. Some of the best at that in the sim. If you watch the Monday and Tuesday night top splits here on P1, watch Robert Malechka the third, and watch Alex Van de Zandt when he's around. Usually, you don't see Zandt much except on the short ovals, but watch Alex Van de Zandt save fuel. He and Malechka are probably the two best in the sim at it. At least in these cars, and Craig Forsyth is not far behind them, Ryan. And Forsyth is still running along. They've got Wagner, and he's got Wags right there with him. Wagner actually going to the high side of Forsyth now, and he's going to work it to the outside of Alex Miller. Maybe no, they're content, I think, to let Alex Miller tow them along, maybe. But here comes Wags. He's going to try the outside this time, and they've got Wagner kind of boxed in, don't they, Ryan?
Yeah, they have him boxed in where it's sort of he's in a position to force him to save fuel whether he wants to or not. He'd have to do a bold move to get by both of them.
Micah Mixer has dropped onto the pit lane, so Micah Mixer is going to make his final stop now. Would you think that they believe that this is the race for the lead right here? Would you think that they know, or at least they anticipate?
I don't like. They'll probably see it. Well, they'll probably see their position, but they wouldn't be sure if Lewis has enough fuel to win the race.
That would be true. Do want to point out that Mason Mitchum has now pulled his car into the pit lane. So Mitchum has given up the ghost. That's going to leave Louis Busa the third in the lead. He is 8 seconds clear of this battle, and the stint time is going to tell the story. He's been out 33 laps. He's got to make it 18 more circuits, Ryan. The cars behind him, 3, and 5 laps better on fuel. We believe the outer edge of that window is 51 laps. And Louis Busa the third now, he's out there and he has nobody to draft with. Gary Lovern has pulled down the pit lane. So the cars that weren't going to be able to make it, they are stopping. They're simply going to split this stint more or less in two.
Yeah, that might be the ideal move. You know, you can't make it, to try to make up ground, not put yourself in a position where you can't make up for not the strategy error, but just not being on the ideal strategy.
Most certainly so. And hey, it's worth the gamble. If you can get out there, you can lead the race, put yourself in that position. You get a caution in the right spot. It works out. They got the caution they needed, Ryan, to make that work. It just didn't come out in the right spot. It came out in a position where Forsyth, Wagner, Alex Miller, some of the more experienced guys, they were able to look at that, work the race backwards, and say, "Hey, if we save us some gas here, we're going to be able to make it." And Louis Busa has slowed way down now. 26.903 his last time through. Alex Miller 26 flat. Same for Wags. Same for Forsyth. Those are positions 2, 3, and 4. Louis Busa has slowed way down, and I almost got to think, based on the way he's running that car, Ryan, he might be in fuel 8, just trying to limp this thing. Yeah, he's way off. He's got to be in map 8 on that car. He's only doing 200 miles an hour down the backstretch. So there's Busa. He's turned it back up now, but he gave up nearly half of his 8-second lead. Now he's got Wagner. Wagner is now second. He's coming at 1.4 seconds a lap, and I think Busa may have been slowing to see if he couldn't just get behind Joseph Morales. At this point, draft anything that moves, right, Ryan?
Yeah, where every second in the slipstream matters. You have to maximize the amount of time we have left in this race, because there's not that much time left.
Well, here's the problem for Busa is that Morales isn't exactly torching the racing surface. Joseph Morales ran his last lap 26.5. That's barely quicker than Busa was doing when he was running around in map 8. So Busa is going to put the boots to it now. I think he realizes the jig is up. You heard the downshift and you heard the revs come up. And so either he's got enough gas to either he's got enough to make it, or he's saying, "Look, I'm going to go hard now. I've given up my entire lead almost. I'm going to go hard, and if she runs out, she runs out," Ryan. The eyes are on Louis Busa. The eyes are also on this battle. It's Matt Wagner. He is leading Alex Miller and Craig Forsyth. This would be provisionally, Ryan, for the lead. These three cars should our leader run short of fuel. Should Louis Busa not be able to make it? The interval is down to 3.5 seconds. That was, remember, over 8. And Alex Miller, big moment off of turn 2, and that lets Craig Forsyth go past. Move Forsyth into the third spot. Alex Miller is now fourth. So what do you say, Ryan? 8 laps to go. Is Busa going to make it, or is he not? He is once again the fastest car on the racing surface.
Say just flip a coin. I have no idea at this point.
I mean, he went awfully slow for about 5 laps. And there he is. He last lap through 25.608. That tells me he's got the wick turned all the way up. Map 1, full rich. He is not saving anything anymore. So either he's good or he's not, right?
Yeah, I think he, like, at this point, if you're in the position that he is, you're not stopping no matter what. Like,
no,
I don't care who you are.
I mean, at this point, with a 4-second lead, you know, if you can get it, I mean, heck, Ryan, if you can get it to the where he is right now, the middle of the backstretch, entering a turn 3, and that baby runs out, just put in the clutch and coast it home. You've got a 4-second lead. But it's not going to work. He's going to come into the pit lane. Louis Busa III is going to end his run at a Horizon IndyCar Series win. That is going to turn over the lead to Alex Miller. Short on fuel for Busa. Miller and Forsyth now second and third. Matty Wagner is your leader, and they are all right together. And with 5 laps or 12.5 miles, or 5 laps or what is that, 7.5 miles, Ryan, this is going to turn into a classic pretty darn quick.
Yeah, we have pretty much all the podium runners close to nose to tail.
Yeah, they are right together. You're seeing Alex Miller as he pulls right up on the back of Matty Wagner. An interested party in Craig Forsyth. They're coming to get 3 to go, Ryan. This will be 4.5 miles now. You can hear the hesitancy in my voice on the math. I did go to Ball State, so math not my strong suit. I'm not an Ivy Leaguer like the wreck over here. He's got all the brains in this booth, believe me. Matt Wagner moves to the high side to feed the dirty air to Alex Miller. Miller taps the wall. That's going to let Craig Forsyth come through in the second. 2 laps to go, 3 miles. Is Forsyth going to have enough? Can Alex Miller slingshot his way back up there, Ryan?
Oh, I don't think he'll have it. Like, we have a lap to go. Can Forsyth close the distance down this run down the front stretch, and then one last run down the back?
He's got one more hurrah. Matty Wagner moves to the bottom to close off the air for Forsyth. That's going to let Alex Miller pull up to the outside of Forsyth. Wagner gives the draft to Forsyth down the backstretch. but then he's going to come in low, and that's going to shut off all the air for Craig Forsyth. They're going to come off at turn number 4. Checkers are in the air from Barney. Matty Wagner is going to win the Kansas 200 in the Horizon IndyCar Series. Alex Miller second. Craig Forsyth is going to come home third. And what a run for Daniel Durazo. Durazo, we were talking about him back in the 14th, 15th, 16th position area. Daniel the Cat comes home fourth. Andrew Serwak is fifth. Mark Cohn makes it home on fuel in sixth. Jeff Heisong same in seventh. And Nate Fields is the last of the one-stoppers. Ryan, he is going to bring it home in eighth.
Which, honestly, considering how this race ended, to make it to the end, get a top 10 finish with one stop is impressive.
It most certainly is, and there goes Wags. He's gonna tear up the infield, and so there he goes. That is going to be a happy man when we talk to him in Victory Circle. Matty Wagner. So for the Horizon IndyCar Series, in the for the win, it's going to be Matt Wagner. Alex Miller is going to be second. Craig Forsyth comes home in third. Daniel Durazo is fourth. Andrew Serwak brings it home with a top 5. Mark Cohn is sixth. Jeff Heisong seventh. Nate Fields eighth. Mason Mitchum and Brian Greenlee round out your top 10. Mason Mitchum leads nearly the whole way, Ryan. Runs short of fuel. Has to make the stop. Finishes 10th. In 11th, it's Sam Cosner. Gary Rubiker is 12th. Hugo Gallas, Gary Lover, and Turner Johnson are all one lap down. Will Stearns, Grandpa finishes 16th. Micah Mixer, rough day for Micah. He brings it home 17th. Louis Busa, he had a shot at the win late, Ryan. Ran out of fuel. Had to pit 3 laps down. And 18th, Joseph Morales is going to be credited with 19th. All right. Let's check the Horizon IndyCar Series waiting room. We'll go ahead and grab Craig Forsyth. You've got Murph. You've got the wreck in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
You betcha, guys.
So how was it? Did you burn off the right front or the right rear? Which one was it?
Ended up burning off my right front, which was surprising because the right rear was the hot one.
Indeed, sometimes temperatures aren't always they don't always tell the whole tale, do they?
No, they do not.
You know, we were sitting there Ryan and I were sitting there talking during the race, and we started doing math, which, as you know, is never my strong suit. That's why I usually try to get in a channel with you, because you'll tell me what the fuel numbers are. Anyway, I looked at it and I thought, man, this is setting up to be a Craig Forsyth fuel race. And sure enough, son of a gun, I put my camera on your roll bar, and you were back there coasting behind Alex Miller. What was your lap where you knew you could turn it up and go to the end and be good?
Well, I thought it was I think 30 to go when I pulled out from Alex, and I was like, I'm good to go now. I can turn it up. And that lasted 2 laps until I very much realized, no, my calculations were very wrong. And the whole point was, I mean, on the first fuel stint, on the first fuel save, so the second pit stop, the second fuel stint, I had to push for, I think, 10 laps to catch up to guys so that I could start fuel saving again, because I'm really not good fuel saving in clean air here. And as you saw on the last stint, Alex is awesome at fuel saving in clean air. I sat behind him and I ran out of fuel on the line, and I had been sitting behind him most of that stint. So, but yeah, on the first one, I had to push a bunch. So I ended up having to come in a lap earlier than I'd wanted to, which was 2 laps earlier than Matt came in. So I knew that Matt was the true danger for the fuel if the fuel save race was going to come out. I think he was like 2 seconds behind us, and I'm like, he's just sitting back there until he makes his fuel number, and then he's he's going to charge forward because he's got 2 extra laps worth of fuel to turn it up. And sure enough, that's what he did. I think I rushed it a bit just because I was getting nervous about when he was going to come forward. Realized it was too soon, and at that point, it was just going to be it was a foregone conclusion that the battle was for second between Alex and I. And man, Alex can fuel save really well here because I was struggling to make the number sitting behind him, and he had no problem making the number in front of me.
Ryan, what do you have for the great one, Craig Forsyth?
No, you pretty much covered all the bases of everything I wanted to know, because it definitely, from our point in the booth, it seemed dicey on fuel nearly the entire way through the last stint. And not that tires weren't a concern at that point, but it seemed that fuel was going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Who cares about the tires? You just need to make the number, because it was either going to stay green, or we were going to get a caution and everyone was going to come in for tires anyway. So, but I mean, obviously the fact that no one has asked me about my incredibly awesome pit stop, you guys didn't see it, which is good, because
it was
terrible.
It was well covered. We saw the whole thing. You missed pit entry by a couple hundred yards, and that's okay, Craig.
It was not my best effort.
You didn't hit the cone. You didn't get a speeding ticket. It's all good, man. It's all good.
I was investigating wider lines in there just to challenge people, and don't do what Craig did.
Very good, Craig. As always, it's always fun talking to you, my man. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. You know the drill. The floor is yours.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I got to thank 40 Racewear, sponsor for the team.
Go buy some gloves.
Yes, go. New gloves have just come in. They are awesome. I am wearing them on my stream right now. They are awesome gloves. Stream is Forsyth Racing on YouTube. I plugged my own stream. That's a rarity. You guys over at P1 doing the broadcast, love you both. Mark, Ryan. Matt running this league. This is a good little Wednesday league. Like it a lot. Won't be here for the next month, unfortunately, but I will catch you guys at the end of the season.
How are you going to play golf? It's October, and it's end of September, October in Canada. The golf courses are closed.
Season, so we have we have some fantasy hockey commitments, and then we start traveling. So,
I thought you were going to tell me you were driving the Zamboni.
No, it's not that cold yet, but soon.
I thought you were going to tell me you were the one that you were in charge of taking the Zamboni through the drive-through at Tim Hortons, which is the most Canadian thing I've ever seen in my life. Anyway,
can you imagine me driving a Zamboni that slow? That would kill me.
It would be fun, though. It would be fun. If I ever hit the lotto, I'm buying a Zamboni just so I can have one.
And then putting like 500 horsepower into it so it can actually go?
That's right. It would be the fastest ice resurfacing machine in northern Indiana, which we have a pretty good college hockey team here. Notre Dame is pretty good. So we generally go to half a dozen games a year. It's a lot of fun. But thank you so much, Craig, for joining in. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
You betcha, guys. Stay safe.
Yes, sir. That is Craig Forsyth, who runs third today. For second place, we go to Alex Miller. Alex, Craig Forsyth complimented your fuel saving abilities, which, coming from him, that's a pretty good compliment. You run second to Wagner. What would it have taken, you think, to beat him today?
Me to not be in clean air for the entire second stint.
That was
because him having that one lap up on us on the pit stop. That's what it took.
Well, it was 2 laps, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty clear that he was going to be able to go full gas, whereas you and Craig had to save. Did you know that Forsyth was saving behind you, and did that slow your guys' progress at all?
Oh, I definitely knew I knew he was saving behind me when he just wasn't passing me for like 20 laps. I was like, oh, I see what game you're playing. I've done this before. So I knew he was saving. And then in the end, Matt got up to us. And then it's kind of just, you sit around for 20 laps knowing you're a sitting duck and there's not really anything you can do about it, unfortunately. So I was actually listening into Craig's interview, and like he said, we kind of both accepted it. was gonna be a battle for second at that point.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alex. It may have been a battle for second, but for you, um, it's a great it's a great day toward the overall goal, isn't it? You're gonna pad your points lead pretty big coming out of here.
Yeah, that's kind of the situation now. It's kind of just keeping an eye on who's behind me and if I beat them. Sadly, Lith Fox wasn't here tonight. I don't know what was up with him. Maybe I'll ask him at some point. What I know Frankie wasn't feeling good, so I don't know if that judged him or if he was working or something. So that's going to pad my lead with him, and then I beat Hugo and Durazo. So really, the only person close to me on points that I didn't finish ahead of was Matt, who was right in front of me. So I gain a little bit at this point. I feel like at this point my kind of goal is just if I just keep rolling off like top fives and everyone behind me keeps taking points off each other, I'm good.
That's the name of the game, man. Finish good, finish in the top five, finish on the podium. Those the points deals usually take care of themselves. Ryan, do you have anything for Alex Miller, second place finisher this evening?
Yeah, I'd say I'd probably ask you about that moment you had where you got loose on corner exit during that last stint. It looked pretty frightening from up in the booth.
Yeah, it definitely was. I actually hit the wall, and that's what got me loose off the corner.
That'll do it.
It like kind of pogoed off it a little bit.
Yeah, that'll do. If you adjust the car on the wall, it might get loose a little bit. That'll happen, right?
Yeah.
But no worries, Alex. You saved the car. You brought it home, second place. And as it always is here on P1, you get on the podium, you get the mic. Friends, family, sponsor, shout-outs. The floor is yours, my friend.
So yeah, I want to correct myself from last week because I thanked Kayuga Designs for the livery, and it turns out that I must have like some reading disability because it's actually Kagaya Designs and always has been, and I've been misreading it for the last month and a half. So thank you, Kagaya Designs, for the livery. Do great livery work, as I said last week. They're awesome to work with. Go work with them if you need a livery. And then I was sitting in the waiting room making a list because I feel like I always forget names to name on my list here. So thank you, Taylor Mills, Joe Mugford, just for kind of moral support. I mean, Taylor and also helping me, and everyone at TMR like Olivia Hayward and Lilac Zier from my time there really helping me get to the level I'm at now in this car. Thank you, With Fox and Frisky Frankie, even though they weren't here tonight. They're always fun moral support to hang out with in between races. Kyle Clenworth, Brendan Lichtenberg, guys like that, who their guide videos helping me learn in this car so much. And then, as always, thanks to Matt, Shane, and Andrew for building the sets for the league and putting on the league. And thank you to the P1 crew for putting on so many broadcasts to showcase the IndyCar community within iRacing.
Yeah, no, hey, it's always a pleasure to be here with you. Keep going fast, having fun, Alex, and we will see you at the next one.
Hopefully you will. I've got a little podium streak going on. I think that's like my 5th podium in a row.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Keep up the great work, dude.
Yeah.
All right. That is Alex Miller. He is your second place finisher tonight. And as for the winner, we'll go ahead and pull him out of his hidey hole. It is Matt Wagner. Wags, you saved some gas. You got the old hot rod in a good spot. You chased him down and blew him away. Talk to us about your night.
Oh man, it was actually I was more beginning toward the race. I was kind of saving tires, just kind of riding back and just hoping I would pass cars back, watching people burn their stuff up, and I was starting to make some headway until that caution came out, and then it turned into a fuel save race because I was telling Cone is that fuel save. So fuel saving is not one of my fortes, and we were talking about it. I saved, I think, 2 laps more than anybody else. I think maybe. And that allowed me to go map 1 pretty much from the time I got out of the pits to the end of the race. And that was something. That roadblock they made up there, Craig and Alex, they were blocking the road. And I could not get by because air wash was so bad. Um, yeah, truly, when I got by him, it was I I couldn't believe I actually won this race. Um, Too bad for Mason. He led the most laps, and of course, he had the cleaner air. I know what it's like to lead the most laps and not win. I've been there. I've done it.
Ryan, do you have anything for our winner this evening?
Yes, I do. So,
Hi. What's up, Ryan?
so like, obviously, with the way fuel strategy played out, you were in the position to win the race. At what point did you realize that you had a legitimate shot at winning? And don't say when Lewis pulled off the track, because I know it had to be sooner than that.
Oh, I knew as soon as I came out of the pits. That's 100% true. And I was looking at my numbers. My numbers showed me I was half a lap to the good if I stayed in map 1. And that was well, I feel like Lewis, if he probably would have fuel saved right behind Mason there. Maybe he probably would have pulled that one out because he had the cleaner air. Just one car in front of him pretty much the whole time. If he would have fuel saved, he probably would have won that race cleanly. But I knew Craig and yeah, sorry, I'm really bad with names. Alex was up there. I knew those two were going to be the cars to beat, and I had to catch up to them. So it took a lot of tire to catch up back up to him, get past Sam Cosner there. That was a little bit of a challenge, but getting by those two, it was pretty rough.
Well, Matt, you were able to do it. You're able to capture the flag tonight. You've got Ryan O'Donohue in the chat cheering for you, so you've got fans this evening. And
what's up, Ryan?
he's down. He has been here for the duration cheering for Matt Wagner. So
I appreciate you, Ryan.
Yeah,
fastest.
That dude is
fast guy in a stock car.
He's
fast, man.
He's
Please
fast in
teach
anything.
me your ways. Please do.
He's fast in anything. With that said, friends, family, sponsor, shout outs. The floor is yours, Matty.
Alrighty. I'd like to thank you two at Broadcast Booth. You guys do a phenomenal job as I hired you to do. And I love going back and watching the races. Some are good, some are bad. But all in all, it's...
That's the story of my life. Some good and some bad, right?
No, not that. We'll talk about that later. So I'd like to thank Mark Cohn and all my track record racing teammates. Love you guys. Shout out to Ryan O'Donohue in the chat. Hey, man, you got to teach me your ways. So I got to thank most importantly, my mom and dad. So, guys, it's been real. This is my second Horizon win. I got the inaugural one, and it's nice to get one here at the old Kansas. So, a hell of a race. And, boys, I have got to get out of here because a lightning storm is about to hit my home. So, y'all take care and have a great night, guys.
There you go, Wags. Unplug everything. Have a good night. Stay safe. You hear?
Yes, sir, brother.
All right. That is Matty Wagner. He is your winner tonight from Kansas. Ryan, that was a fun deal. It's always, I love races like that where there's different strategies in play. You don't really know what's going to happen. You could have had a surprise winner. You could have had two surprise winners. I would have counted Mason Mitchum as one of those two. Look, for a while like Busa had it in hand. Louis Busa runs short of fuel, and then, well, when you look up, it's the old pros at the finish line, isn't it? Wagner, Miller, and Forsythe.
Yeah, and it shows that, the best always find a way. It doesn't matter if they need outright pace or to manage their car to get to the end. They just have the skill set to be able to capitalize and get the win.
There you go. And if you want to continue watching the best, you can tune us in tomorrow night for the AMA Blackmagic Studios Grand National Series. That's going to be live, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 for the race start, and that is going to be from Kansas as well. Sunday night at 8 o'clock, it is the votive IndyCar Oval Series. That is from Iowa. That's an 8 p.m. start. Monday night, it is the triple header, and God love it, the triple header. Well, actually, it's a double header. I believe Mike Rigney's group, no, they're not. It is a triple header Monday night. The IndyCar will kick it off with the IndyCar Open Series Monday night top split from the Indy road course. That's going to be at 8. Jacob Collins and I will have that. We'll transition to the Onyx Open Wheel League Lotus 79s from the New Hampshire Oval. That's going to happen at 9:05, and then we're going to end it with the Indy Next Road Course race from Spa. That's Jacob Collins at 10. Tuesday night, it's a doubleheader, the IndyCar Oval Series top split. That's from Texas, 8:15, and we're immediately going to follow that with the Indy Next Oval Series race, also from Texas. No race next Wednesday. No race next Wednesday. No race next Thursday. On Friday, we'll have the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. That's going to be from the Charlotte Roval. 8:20 start, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start, and that'll bring us back to Sunday, October 5th. It is the Dark Horse DW12 finale presented by the Joy of Driving. Circle your calendars for that, Ryan. That's going to be DW12s at Indianapolis. How about that?
Classic.
It is a classic. Speaking of classics, if you haven't got enough tonight, make sure you flip on over to the other stream on the P1 Broadcasting Network. They've got the Formula Indy Series from California, 200 miles, and they are about halfway through that race. And so would do encourage everybody to continue on with our sister stream. Do also want to thank everybody that makes this possible. The Joy of Driving for sponsoring the series, of course. Do also want to thank all the drivers, participants, and fans. But most of all, we want to make sure that we thank the people that really make it possible. That would be the military, the police, the firemen. Ryan, we got to thank the EMTs that drive the ambulance and the nurse that unloads you when they get you to the hospital. Thank you all for all that you do. We will see you at the next one.